everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. I'm Ellen Smith of the Adult Services Department here at Hudson Library and Historical Society. And we want to welcome Steve Cook of the University of Akron School of Law. And also a good thank you to David, as he's the general manager of the Comfort Inn on Route 8, who provided us with the coffee and the Danish tonight. Thank you so much. Right there. Have a seat. Let everybody know who you are. Thank you, David. Okay. I want to let everybody know that I did add another couple of programs to the tail end of the entrepreneurship series on April 28th. We're going to have a program with the Small Business Administration, a representative from Liberty Bank, and a couple of people from First Merit. They're coming to talk about the availability of credit for small business and perhaps what the federal stimulus package can do for you people, how you might be able to tap into it. And at the end of May, on May 27th, we're having a program on LinkedIn, the LinkedIn network. Somebody's going to describe that to you and let you know all about that and how it might benefit you. So with no further ado, here's Steve Cook.
Thank you. I talk loudly. You know, I love teaching, and speaking of talking loudly, first year classes, this enormous classroom, and the seats are up like this. You know, your nose will bleed when you're up in the top row, and I love seeing the first year students. What they'll do is they'll see the guy right in front of them, and they'll position themselves exactly behind this guy. Okay? So they think that you're not going to see them. And I love the ones who will start and they do this. They don't breathe. There's no pulse. They don't blink. And it's as though they think if they appear transparent that you won't call on them. They're always the first to be called on. I want questions. I'm not the brightest guy in the world. Some of the stuff I may not know. Stop me if there's something that you don't understand, if I talk too quickly, whatever. This is the fourth one of these I've done in the last 10 days, all on different topics. And this is by far the coolest room. I mean, it's a great room. First one I did was to a bunch of artists who are entrepreneurs, and they are interested, or were interested in starting a business. We did it at Trinity Cathedral up in Cleveland in this fabulous room. These people are so neat. There was a guy there in all leather. I mean, this dude had leather from head to toe. And he had piercings in about every place you could be pierced that I could see, and the others I didn't want to. But he asked some good questions. We had another woman who was a glass blower, and it was a really neat time. A couple days later, I'm giving a talk to the Cleveland Clinic police force. What a difference that was. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, ma'am, yeah, yes, sir. They had to be there. And I think there were probably two questions, and this was on Fourth and Fifth Amendment, search and seizure and so forth. But man, trying to get that crowd going, that was tough. That was very tough. I was going to go to the sergeant and say, Sergeant, make them smile, make them laugh. That was a rough group. Last night I talked to the Stark County Board of Realtors. That was a trip. We had a good time there. A lot of old geezers there, and we got along just real good. Why a business? Now, I'm going to call on different people. You ain't going to get away. And you're going to have to answer some questions. It's like students, you know. What I love to do is it's a row of students. And what will happen is, if I'm walking toward them, you know, they're looking down at this, like I'm not going to see them. And then I'll walk right beyond them, and you can hear the, and then they turn around, and I ask them the question. So they learn pretty quickly that I'm going to ask them a question. Why a business? What's that first one? What's that mean? Yeah, make a profit. You know, you're doing this. These are various reasons why you're going to start a business. And there's all a slew of reasons. You want to make some money. You may want to participate in the management of the business. This relates to family businesses in particular. You may want to have some control. In my family, it's just my wife and I can guarantee you that I do not have control. I am not the head cheese in our family, and I know who wears the pants, and it isn't yours truly. You know, my wife has the most interesting thing when it comes to money. She believes that if there are checks left in the book, there must be money there. And she and I'm kind of anal retentive, and I will spend hours over a penny. Not her. You know, if it's $300 or $400 close, it's okay. I'm sure that the bank will have it right. Oh dear. Liability protection from business obligations. What's this mean? Translate that from legalese. Here's my my active friend here. I love guys like this. I'm like him. You know, we're all anal retentive with all of our paper clip. He's probably got the first paper clip we ever had there. Is this true? You're willing to sell it? Yeah. All right. Okay. And I just hit something here. Let's. We'll go back where we were. Help me out here. It ain't doing what it. There we go. Maybe if I. What's this all about? Liability protection from business obligations. Sometime prior to 6:30, hopefully, or 7:30. Give me an idea. What's that mean? Why would you form as an entity, like an LLC?
It separates business from
No, Leo, see, I was calling on him, and he's answering. This is good. Did he pay you?
I thought you looked at me. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe he did. And I was wondering why he wasn't answering. Okay, here's what we're going to do.
You got me all jumpy now.
Okay, do you? Am I making you nervous here?
It's that good coffee.
It is. Yeah. I stopped at McDonald's because I didn't realize we were going to have this. What's this mean? Liability protection from business obligations. You.
You're up.
You're up.
Sure.
Okay, why would you form as an entity?
Well, when you mention an LLC like a corporation, you're then separating, or you're creating a new entity. So you're separating that from the individual or the family money or liabilities.
And assets.
And assets. I get down in class like this and I say, ladies and gentlemen, what you have just witnessed is thinking. This man is thinking. That's exactly right. You want to form as an entity to protect your personal assets. And for the most part, that works. There's some situations where it doesn't, but that's why you'd form as an entity, and we'll get into that at some point later. This next one, maximize taxes or minimize taxes for business owners. That doesn't necessarily always flow. There are no tax advantages to forming as an LLC. There may be some tax advantages to forming as several other flavors of corporations. You may want to be recognized as a business to... Is that me? Something's beeping. Jeez whiz, I thought it was my pacemaker. You know, I get wound up and my pacemaker starts beeping. You want to be recognized as a business and orderly. I don't know why I put this down here. Orderly exit from a business. Why a business? So you can get out of business? It doesn't. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Yeah. That's it. So sell the business. What I mean by this is, when you start a business, the kind of entity you choose may determine how you get out of that business, or it may also help you, as this gentleman kindly says, sell the business. Any questions so far? If there are, I would be surprised, because we really haven't done much. All right, FLIC. I just, you know, formation, liability, intellectual property contracts, this is kind of a little mnemonic that you can use to remember some of this. We're going to talk about formation and the kind of entity that you want to form as. Let me give you a little piece of advice. If you do not form as an entity, you are brain dead. Say that again. If you do not form as an entity, you are brain dead. You are out of your mind, because it costs $125 to do it. A reasonably non-comatose fourth grader can do it. It's not hard. And you give yourself some protection from liability. Why not do it for $125? Okay, we got a client in our clinic, the business clinic. He's a stunt man. And this guy, he comes up with an idea an hour. And one of the ideas he had, because he was in the Rangers, he was going to rappel off of somebody's home in the roof down into 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds dressed as Batman. Now, he showed us a picture, and he's on this one-story stucco house, and he's on the roof there in his Batman regalia, and you see this rope going over the top of the roof, and it disappears. The student said, well, where are you going to put this rope? He said, oh, I thought I'd hook it to the gutter or the vent. And he's going to rappel off this house into these 5 and 6-year-olds as dressed up as Batman. And he wasn't formed as an entity. That's a problem. Sole proprietor. Can you imagine that? First of all, he's going to rip the gutter off, and he's going, yeah.
You're saying he was brain dead.
Yeah, he was brain dead. Oh, Lord. Good guy, but hadn't quite thought it out. The other thing we're going to talk about is how you can protect yourself in a common sense way by buying some insurance. We talk about 3 things in the business clinic: form as an entity, insurance appropriate to the kind of business you do, and good business practice. Good business practice, I had a fellow in my office or in the conference room here 4 or 5 years ago, clean cut. You know, he was probably 21, and he had a lawn service. He said, Professor Cook, I've had this lawn service since I was 16. I said, boy, that's great. And he said, I've got 11 employees, and he said, last year I netted $85,000. And of course, I'm thinking to myself, you know, I may be old, but I can push a lawnmower just as good as anybody. $85,000. And then he gets over real close to me and he said, but I've never paid taxes. Followed by, am I going to get caught? Followed by, you know, not a good business practice. Intellectual property, we'll touch on this a bit. In contracts, we'll also touch on that slightly. That's what I talked to the group last night about. Okay. Oh, I love this. I love all the, everybody's writing, you know, like I'm saying something worth writing. This clinic we have, we go out on road trips, and we go to various locations, SBDC, Small Business Development Centers. We go to Kent State, Stark. We do some things, a lot of things with SCORE, a great organization. We were on a road trip, and what happens is I'll have a student with me, and they'll bring people in on the hour. We have no idea what they're going to present with, and it's up to the student to try to give them some appropriate advice. You know, I'm there to keep from the unauthorized practice of law, and I just kind of watch them. This old boy comes in, and he's a plumber, and he's going to buy himself a truck, and he's going to start himself a business. And by golly, that truck is going to be white. Okay, now why it's a white truck, I don't know. But he wants to buy himself a new pickup truck. So the student starts into entity selection, you know, form as an LLC, how you do it,